Hello. I'm hiding. Dolly, welcome back. Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. If you can't see me, yes, I am literally hiding behind this cake right here. This is a cake I started making and now we're here, okay? So if it's your first time you see me, this is a hexagon cake top forward structured cake that we're building. It's supposed to be 3 tiers, but we have 2 already. We're not done yet. There's quite some work to do on the 2 tiers before the 3rd comes through. So I'm just going to be doing some polishing. I don't think we have time to do anything other than the polishing of this cake. And I thought I would just bring you along that process just to show you what that looks like. Okay, so that's essentially what we are doing. It's just Dolly and I. If no one was here, it will still be okay, because I've been at this since 4 a.m. I had to get up at 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Yes, I am going to stencil it. And then it's going to be covered in, Dolly, I'm answering your question. Dolly is asking if I'm going to stencil this cake. And yes, I am going to stencil it. And it's also going to be covered in polystyrene gold balls. So much of it will... I did say during the process, I did mention that I wasn't going for a perfect polished look, because it's a man's cake. There's got to be room for some ruggedness to it. So let's see how it's going to go. So what I wanted, my goal was to keep the lines clean. So I feel like I have achieved that. The lines, which are still like clean. Okay. But yeah, we're going to stencil the cake. Okay, maybe this was a bad idea. Get rid of it. Okay, there you go. It's a lot of work to kind of keep the lines. That's when people say a simple cake, without the details on the cake, it looks fairly simple. But simple is expensive because it takes a lot of time and effort to get the details right. So perhaps what may be simple to one person may not be simple for another. Much of what I'm doing, perhaps you may not see, and I appreciate you for still being here with me. But I guess I wanted to show you what the cake looks like in its form. Okay. This is repetitive, small task. Just doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's a bit like trying to polish a wall, like is it plastering a dry wall? Like you have to literally do the same thing over and over again. Now let's cut this clean. Let me go back in with the knife, seal that all back up. Yep. Okay. Dolly, save the praise for when the cake is done, yeah? Because as of this moment in time, I am still like questioning my life choices. But you know what? The way I imagine the cake and the difficulty level, it's not as bad as my very first attempt. And probably because this is hexagon. Oh, when I did the round ones, the round cakes, boy, oh boy. a girl was suffering out here. Okay, now that is done. I'm gonna go over that. I kind of feel like I could keep it 2 tiers, but it's a pastor's birthday and the missus wants it grand, which is why it's 3. But it could simply be 2 tiers, and then we can box the 3rd tier as extra. But then if I did do that, we would know what to do with this metal. Because then I have to take the whole cake apart and then undo it. So no, we are going to make it 3 tiers as requested. I should tell you, this is one of the best investments I have made in cake decorating tools. They come as a pack of 3 from Lissy Lou, and they were £22. And I remember feeling so mad when I bought it. I was like, why is this so expensive? I see why it is now. It's worth the money, because without a small tool like this, oh my God, I would struggle. Dolly, maybe what you should do is you should book me for a over the phone consultation. Then I'll walk you through the process. Just a suggestion. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if just having the help stand by will boost your confidence. I think many years ago when I started cake decorating and I struggled with my football cake, that's what I did. I booked somebody I knew who made football cakes, and that was their specialty, like geometric cakes and stuff like that. And instead of taking a cake class, which honestly at the time I couldn't afford, I booked them for an over the like a virtual consultation. So it was over WhatsApp, and then I paid by the hour. I think at the time, I remember, how much was it? About £65 for the hour. What they did was they sent me what I needed to do first, and then I got it. And then they were very, very, very generous anyway. So then they gave me some heads up about what to do. And then when the time came, all they did was they were on the other side of the phone. And then I kind of like did it. And then they talked me through what I had to do, which is a great alternative to, say, having to organize a class, which might take a long time and something you haven't really kind of considered as an investment. But that is just a suggestion, and by the way. So if you come to it, because believe me, as much as I put the what do you call it, my first attempt online, if you look at the video, there was a lot of editing, because it was at the time I had started learning to edit. And so when you have like hours and hours of footage, sitting through all that footage on organized and editing is hard work. So even though the video might seem like you've seen what I did, it will take a lot of skill to kind of execute it. And for a cake like this, I'll be honest, it's an intermediate to advanced level, right? I wouldn't, if I dreamt of organizing a class like this, I wouldn't have more than 4 people in class, because it's really intense. I spent an average of an hour, 10 minutes on each cake, just getting the lines clean this morning. And that is taking away the ganache disc. Remember, the ganache disc were on both sides. So you flip it, you take it out, you clean it off. To get both the front and back looking this clean is no joke. Okay? So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, as always, I am here to help, but I also don't want to mislead you. It's a lot of work. But you know what? I have no doubt that if you put your mind to it and want to try it, you will achieve it. But the goal is to achieve it as quickly and easily as possible without the trouble. Does that make sense? There you go. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, all I'm doing is trying to polish it. I think whilst I'm talking about some of my best investment in cake decorating, one of the scariest lines as a cake maker you will receive from a customer is when they say, oh, I trust you to do your thing. Oh, that's scary, because where do I start? If you're talking to me in the chat, I am not ignoring you. I am fighting for my life here, people. Okay. Okay, there you go. Are you doing a gravity? Is that Dolly? She said the wedding is on Sunday, so I won't bother you. Are you doing a gravity defying for Sunday? Come on, honey. And there you go telling me you are scared. Who's doing that? Did I miss something? Dolly, did you say you were doing a gravity defying cake for Sunday? For the wedding on Sunday? Okay. Oh, the lines are clean. Wow. I think we've ended up with sort of a concrete effect, which is still great for a guy. Now I'm bummed that this is a man's cake, because when I think about this as a woman's cake, I can almost imagine how I will place the flowers. Look, I like making ladies' cakes, okay? I am a floral cake artist. I love the flowers on a cake, especially if it's for a woman. I do. So I'm not going to pretend. But it's also nice to kind of see it when it's for a guy. So I'm not against my guys here, okay? My people are back. I can see you all in the chat. Okay. Right. Now let's go and clean this over with. Part of cake decorating I have to remember is know when to stop. The parts where you can see the hanging, the excess things hanging, I have to leave them to chill, and then I can trim all that off with a knife. So those are there by intention, because if I try to get them off with this, it will create texture on the edges, and I want the lines to be clean. Because there's going to be stenciling. There's going to be stenciling on parts of the cake, both front and back. It's going to be patchy stenciling. And actually, the parts of the front that looks very textured, I'm going to leave that. And then we're going to have like edible gold leaf dotted into it. And then the stencil will be like spotty stenciling. And then the gold balls will cascade around it. The initial thought was to kind of like create a spiral look, because there's a lot of the gold balls. But looking at the cake now, sometimes the thing you idealize when it's kind of translated materially or tangibly, it's different. Because initially, I thought the cake was going to be like smaller, right, or bulky. So I wanted to shrink it by focusing on the spiral idea of the balls, which will come all the way this way, so that if the cake spins on a stand, what you're seeing is the balls kind of going round. But because now the cake is so clean with the lines, I want the focus to be on the minimal aspects of the decorative design, but the cake to stand out on its own. Because if I didn't put any design elements on this cake, if you appreciate art, you'll still go, oh, that's still like, is this a cake, or that's just like those sort of arts that have nothing to it. I'm not an artist in that way, but people appreciate different things. And for what has come to be, if we cleaned this, plus the cake is going to be a part of a dessert table. So the star is going to be the cake, and then you have all these dessert. I was sent the concepts of the idea. So at this point, if I didn't do anything to the cake, the lines will tell the story, and the cleanliness and how the cake stands in itself will work for the theme they are going for. So essentially the balls are going to be just a slight addition and not the focus of the cake itself, I hope. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sort of kind of thinking out loud at this point. You know what, Tabitha? Don't encourage me. Because I might just. I might just. Don't encourage me. Okay, there you go. Now I can't wait to think of what the third tier will look like when it goes on top of it. I think it's about time I stopped it now. So we'll chill it, come back. If we chill it. Okay. To be able to stencil it for the best effect, we'll have to chill the cake so it is completely set. I think my cake fridge, the commercial cake fridge, I don't know, I think the air and refrigeration is causing problems, so there's condensation happening in it. So if I put the cake sweats. So I'm going to have to move it to the second fridge. Like I have two fridges for cake. So the commercial one is primarily for the decoration of the cake, and then when the cake is completely done, it's moved to a second fridge that I can manage the temperature of, so that it doesn't cause sweating. I intend to transport this cake stacked. So, because much of the polishing and what it looks like, I just don't want the task on site. I can't think of that. Like even thinking about it makes me go, oh, that's a lot. I don't want that. So, having to build a cake on site and the fixed kit and all of that is a lot of work. So I intend to transport it stacked, but most importantly it means it has to be optimized for the travel as well, which is why I kind of got went to this length to make sure that the cake is set for travel for me. The good news though is that as much as you look at it, it's not like it's not as heavy as it looks. It's really like, glad, don't tempt fate. But, you know, perhaps maybe the board is steady, but it's not as heavy as it looks. So that's it. I have carried heavier cakes, and this isn't at all. So yeah, when I look at the screen, I can see the lines, but over here, all I can focus on is the slight imperfections because of the stuff that is hanging on, and it's annoying me a little bit. Like, my eye cannot get over it, but I know we are going to have to make it work. So yeah, I am kind of excited to see the finish of this cake actually. So perhaps let's go put this in the fridge, and I will bring the third tier out and then show you how I get it set for when it is going to be stacked. Now, I don't know if I want to risk stacking it here. That even makes my head hurt. Okay, thinking about it makes my head literally hurt, but we'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to try and see if I can try and put a knot through, because what you are not seeing here is when I come to the shorts, you will see the metal has to be secured completely so it's not in contact with the cake. So just as I told you, the metal has foil tape around it in the part that goes in the cake. And what I've done is I've taken a dowel and then I've cut the dowel. I've cut the dowel right here, and then it secures the metal for when the cake is going through. But the dowel is measured to the height of the cake. So up until where, just beneath where you see this metal, is all secured. The issue though is that when I'm done, I have to pull out the excess dowel out because I have to cut the size of I have to cut the height. So there's this metal runs all the way down into the cake. And then from the top here all the way running down has foil tape. And then over that is this plastic dowel up until the height of this. But it's cut individually. So I start the first layer. I put the plastic dowel through. I put a nut. I'll show you what I did over there. And then I have to take the excess dowel out just so that the next nut can go through. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I say that to say, if you're watching this video in replay, don't assume that the metal is not secure. The metal is definitely not. It's very secure into the cake, and it's not like in contact with the cake at all. I just want to make that clear, because if I wrap it all together just for your viewers, for your viewing convenience, what I can't do then is put a nut through. I can't, unless I get a larger nut, which will not help in terms of structure. So for instance, there's a nut here and there's a washer, and all of these things you have to wash and make sure that they are completely foot safe. So what I've done is I've cleaned the nut up and applied some butter. It's all oily over here, and then when you put this through, it sits right on top of where the final bit of this is cut, so that it doesn't fall through the cake, right? And then a nut goes over it. And why you need a nut over it is when the next year comes, the next year is not sitting essentially on the cake. What it's doing is it's sort of hanging on the cake, if that makes sense. But you'll see, I'm just trying to demonstrate what happens so that you can see that process. So that's a nut going through. And then there's a board too in the middle, by the way. So let's see. bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna get a brush and clean the excess. Now this part you can use a spanner to kind of secure it. Because there's a cake on it, I don't want to use the spanner. Plus, the third tier is such a small cake. I don't want to bother myself with all of that. But it also means that any small issues that may arise, you want to fix and correct them completely before you get to building the cake all together. So the metal has gone in now. The metal won't go any further than the washer that is sitting on top of the dowel. So the next thing here is to, where's the foil tape? Okay. Okay. We have foil tape wrapping around this. If you don't have foil tape, you could completely use floral tape as well. Okay. To secure this, right? It's very oily, so it's not sticking. So what I'll do next to secure it better is get myself some cling film. Right. Okay. Right. So we are securing the cling film around the foil tape now. You make sure. Okay. There you have it. And then my next thing is a cake card. It's a small cake card that I have measured onto the cake to sit through. So I'm pushing this over so that it breaks through. I mean, I have to cut it through a little bit. So this cake card then sits and then the cake goes over this. But before it does, I could either just leave it this way, but one last thing, we need to put the dowel back. So what then happens is the dowel is measured and then placed. I need to cut it. Where is my... Okay, yeah. At this point, I just need the dowel to stand a little over, so I'm just cutting the dowel. Please measure it. Oh, that has flown away, it's fine. Okay, the dowel is cut through with the metal cutter so that it can secure around this safely, right? Okay. Oh, it keeps popping up, but I need to kind of fix that. So essentially you can get a guide of how to secure the plastic, and then the cake now goes and sits on top, and that's what we have. I wanted to show you how to do that, but the cake needs to go into the fridge to chill completely before we can even fix the other let's wipe it a bit. Okay, so our lines are still clean. Our dowel is kind of secured in the middle over there. We need to go and let this cake chill, and then I'll bring the let's see, I just wanted this to be in. I think it's my own hands that will ruin this cake. Can you see? I keep poking into the cake. Can you tell? I keep poking to the side of the cake. Okay. This is annoying. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. I think I need to leave it now. What do you think? But just leave it now. We are done here. Now, how I wish I could just plot the third tier on it, but the third tier needs to be prepped before it goes on the cake. So okay, there you go. That's 2 hexagons done, 1 to go. Let's go put this in the fridge, and then I'll bring the smaller tier out, and then we can prep it ready for its final set. Like I said, I am hoping I can set it up to you, but I am scared for my life, people. I am scared, but I love the look of the cake. Let's have an all-round look at it. The lines are clean. I love the lines. But God, I will have a headache if I was having to... I'll have a headache if I was having to cover this cake in ganache. That would make me mad. I said ganache, fondant. That would make me mad. Okay. You can see. There you go. I can't. Okay. Tatiana is back. Tata. Tatiana. The cheesecake hasn't happened yet. Let's just say at this point it is becoming a Christmas offer. Okay, don't worry. I've been talking about you since last week when I showed up. I'm like, look, the cheesecake is over to the left. Let's get this done because this has kept me up. How was Thanksgiving at the uncle's though? Let's go put this cake away and be back. Okay, let's go. Right. I see Tatiana had a great time at the uncle's house. Right. So this is our final tier. Hopefully this is easier to put up. But first things first, before I do anything, what I did was I created a guide for the center. So each card that I created has a guide to show me where the center is. So for this, here is the sort of guide, and then I have to then decide where it's going to be. And there's a reason the card is not directly, there's a reason the card is not full on, because I want the card to sit in the cake and not show. So with that done, what we are going to do is get a dowel, and then we poke it into the cake. And then whilst that is happening, right on the other side, you don't want contact with the cake, because any form of contact will just leave marks. I can cut this, but I just wanted to show you how I can do this quickly. Right, so I'm folding that to go over there on the cake, and then I am holding this, and then with my dowel, all I'm doing is I'm poking straight through the cake just to create the hole. And this part, you want to be careful. You want to make sure your cake is set, not hard, because if your cake is frozen, if you push it through, it will crack. So part of the part of trying to do this right is letting your cake come to room temperature. So at this point, I need to, when I'm doweling this, I want to lift it this way. So with that in, I can almost guess where, yep, I can almost guess where the hole is, right? It is a hard one, this part, because if you're not careful, your cake will get stuck. Yep, got it out. So now I have sort of a guide hole on what this looks like, and I want to go back in with a bigger dowel. I think I've cut all the dowel. Let me get a bigger dowel. Because the bigger dowel, this dowel is what is set on the cake. So I'm going to go back and take the cake card out. People, doing this in front of you makes me nervous. Really nervous. Okay, now the card is out. And you get this, because what you don't want, it's when you're setting the cake on, you want to make sure the hole in the cake is just perfect through the dowel. If it's small, you're going to have to force the cake down, and that will cause a crack. Remember, the cake is shaped this way. The moment a crack goes through, the cake splits, you are done. Literally done. And I don't want that drama in my life, okay? So essentially, what I'm doing is creating a bigger hole so I don't have to force the cake down. And the reason for this is so that when I'm pushing the dowel, I don't have contact with the cake. Because if you're pushing it, the cake will move. So you want to keep the cake in place, which is what I'm doing. And if you can see what I mean. Yep. So essentially, if I don't do that, I will have contact with the cake, and then it will also crack on top here. So everything I'm doing is intentionally trying to prevent any contact whilst also applying reasonable pressure. And then I'm taking the dowel back out. Okay. All right. Now we've got it. Whew. That part is done. Now the next part is making sure that this hole I have here is going to fit over my cake enough. That's the part that I need to take care of. Oh, it's a lot. Okay, that's a kit card. Tear it through. Now I'm just tearing the kit card through. So now let's set this aside. We will need this in a moment. And you want to do this when the cake is still set. So maybe let's go bring our cake back. I'll try it. If I get into trouble, we'll leave it. Okay, but I just wanted to show you how to do that before I go. So let's go bring the cake back. Okay. Whew. This is the part where everything I've taught you. Okay. The cake card is now in place. Whew. Girl. I feel like I need my mama. All right. Whew. All right. Now, moment of truth. Who can tell I'm nervous? Let's see. We are getting... Okay. There. Ooh. Okay. Did I get it? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. The problem is you can't see all three though. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay, there you have it. Whew, Tapita, I need a hug right now. If you people can see my heart rate. Right, I am just... If you people can see my heart rate, it's gone through the roof. Okay. All right. Right. It is set on it. It needs a bit of adjustment. Perhaps you can see it. Maybe you can't. Okay. It needs some adjustment because the sizing between the 10 and the 8 leaves a little gap here, except the 8 and 6 is so clean. So I don't know, but at least the lines are still aligned and it's still clean. Whew, it's a tall cake. Yes, honey, an incredibly tall cake. I don't know what I was doing going for a cake like that. Well, it's not my cake, is it? All right. Kind of feel like I could have offset it a little bit because I can see a shift here. Anyway, I can cover that in stencil. Right. Okay. Let's try and move this along a little bit. I can't touch it. Okay. Ooh, I'm creating a dent in the cake. I think I'm gonna have to leave it for now. Yeah. Okay. Right, got it. I need this, cut this part down. Oh. Yeah, girl. Okay, got it. Yep, I've set it up, but there's pressure coming through. I can see cracks. So this needs a whole lot of polishing. A whole lot. But, yep, exactly how I imagined it. What do you think? It's a custom order cake. It's a custom order. Oh, I love my simple life. I will not be making a cake like this just for the fun of it. No. And if it wasn't for this particular customer who I really, really love, and I've worked with them a lot in the past, the other gravity defying cake I made was, they work as part of an events team. So they order cakes for clients that they work with, and they are a church group of people. So if it wasn't that, I really love her and her loyalty, I wouldn't take this order, because at this point, especially on a day like this, my head hurts already when I wake up. I don't want to be bothered about a cake that's going to stress me the hell out. Okay? So what I'm going to do is clean this so that it aligns with that over there. So the first two tiers look like it's one cake. Okay, we'll stencil that through. Got it. It's for a 50th birthday, and the theme is gold and white, classic. Sort of vintage minimalistic decor. It's monochrome. I think when I have time, I will post the concept that they sent me. As in, they sent me some of the decor ideas designed, because she wanted a cake that was stacked top forward. The rest was my idea. Thank you, friend. I actually like how the 6 and 8 are like synced together. They're like one item, and then you have the base. I think I've got a clap for me. Whew. Honestly, if I didn't have you guys here, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be stressed still, but it would be a lonely stress in my little bubble here, because I've been at this since 4 a.m., you know. This is what my morning looked like. 4 a.m. Aaron is back. 4 a.m. I got up, came to work. 7:30, started my morning routine for my young man. I was out of the house by 8:30 with the young man. They had activity at school, and I had to go and do all of that. They had activity at school, Christmas theme, and I had to go do that. And I got back a little before 11, did some mini admin, and then tidied, sorted the cake, and then thought, let me come on a live and finish the rest with you. So here we are. Aaron, how are you? Aaron says, a gathering without a cake is a meeting. Okay. I'd still want to be part of a meeting of wise people. wise elite people. Aaron. Okay. There you go. Whew. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's a smart idea to transport this cake stacked. Now I'm questioning my own choices. Like, girl, you know what you're doing? Aaron says there's time for everything. Okay. You said it. There's a time for a meeting, and there's a time for a gathering. Is it? Okay. There you go. Right. I think I'm going to leave the polishing now. I'm going to leave the polishing now, and then I will finish it up. Because, God, there's a lot to do. I keep saying that, but look at me. I'm still, like, trying to get my tool. Okay. I even have to borrow some height. How is this even a thing? Okay. Got it. Whew. The cake has to travel about 40 minutes away. 40 minutes away. If I was driving at the regular speed, it should be about 25, half an hour. But I know it's going to have to travel slowly. So that's about 40 minutes. But it's largely it's not like a busy town drive or anything. It's going on a highway, you exit and the destination is not too far. So okay, I think I'm kind of pleased with this. Not done yet, but so far what I wanted to show you I have. It still needs like a great deal of polishing, which is kind of boring and thankless. But that's something I'll do when the cake is completely set and then I come back. But right now I just wanted to show you what it looked like and how to set the cake on it and the structure bits. And I'm glad I did it because it was scary thinking about it. I'm like, oh, am I going to be able to do it? I am so glad I did. Okay, so right now that's our cake so far. What do we think? Do we love? Now I'm just, because of what I was thinking when I was building the structure, I didn't center the structure because I wanted the cake to be offset on the structure a little bit. And now it feels like, oh, I could have just brought it to the center. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but at least that's the cake. I could do Tapita. Tapita says, could you do a tutorial on how to transport the cake secure? I could do, but I'll tell you why you haven't seen a video like that yet. It's normally by the morning when I am, first of all, most of the time I don't deliver my cake stacked. Okay, I don't. I stack them at the venue. The only reason I decided to stack this is because of the rod in the center and what it takes. Plus, many a time when I've got into the venue and you want to kind of like stack the cake on side, for a round cake, it's very easy, or any of the traditionally stacked cakes, it's very easy because when you stack the cake, what you are left to do is fill in the gap between where each cake is sitting, and it's fairly easy. And then you put the flowers and stuff like that. And sometimes I've stacked maybe 2 tiers and then I've added a 3rd tier or the extra bit when I've got into the side. The problem with this cake is, though, I can't do it on site simply because the amount of detail and polishing it takes to kind of set the cake up. When you get on site, you have no access to warm water. The ganache, it's not like you have a microwave or warming tools. Plus, the weather is not on my side. The weather is very cold. So for a 40 minutes travel, if even I took my fixed kit to go set up the cake on site, I will still be left with unpolished look to it. So I'm having to risk setting up the cake. But for what it is worth, and the ganache and everything, this cake should hopefully be secure for me to travel with. That's why you haven't seen a video yet, because most of the time I travel with my cakes not stacked at all. This one, though, is, as you can see, is stacked. Plus, I went ahead and the unboxing video I did on a live where I purchased the stuff and we had the long box. Yep, that is what you call a delivery box. So the delivery box is going to kind of, it's a 14-inch base, so it's going to secure this, and I'm going to make sure that it's wrapped around the cake to secure it. And then when it goes into the car, it's going to have to stay on a level surface with a non-slip mat. The driving is going to be incredibly slow, because the issue is not so much the cake defrosting or anything. The issue, though, is the cake slamming on the bricks and the cake literally moving. Except for a cake like this, you are probably more often than not going to have some form of safety because of this. So now that I'm talking about it, I don't know if I really fancy. Most of the time, I don't even drive. I don't drive a cake. It will make my heart hurt. Okay, thinking about the cake sitting there and me drive. Oh, my head will hurt. So most of the time, I've employed help. So we'll see. Because most cake makers are just stressed. Look, Tabitha, the reason why you haven't seen it is because, when you wake up in the morning, at least for me, when I'm stressed, the last thing I want to do is pick up a phone. I mean, you've seen me stress myself over here. Look at me hiding behind the cake. You've seen me over here stressing, okay? I'm telling you I'm stressed. You probably can't feel my heart. This is what stress feels for me physically. Let me just... Right now, I'm talking to you. My heart feels like it's expanding. And my breath is getting tight. And as I'm talking to you, it feels like... If you hear me go, it's like I have to catch my breath. And that's the physical manifestation of stress for me. Like, it's like I'm running up a hill and my breath is trying to catch up. And that's because, like, my body is in fight or flight, okay? So waking up and picking up a camera to kind of talk you through how, oh God. But yeah, oh God, look, I have ganache on my face, people. Yep. Rio is let me see, I don't know what his height is, but look, I am 5'4.5". Just add the 5 and it will be 5'5". This is me. And the cake stands, the tabletop is like half of my height because it's at waist height. So from this side up, so let's see if we can get, let's see the correct height of the cake. This ruler is 20 inches and it doesn't go all the way up. Let's see. Okay, so this ruler is 20 inches by itself. So just add about another 2 to 3 inches. And it's about 20, anything between 22 to 23 inches. Convert it and let's see. And that's the height of the cake. I know, put it in the fridge. And then go make yourself a cup of tea. Tabitha, you know me. At this point, I need someone to make me a cup of tea. Because, sis, can I tell you? I am stressed. But I am so happy we did it, right? It's still looking and polished. The lines are clean though. I love the lines. The cake is set perfectly, just the way I imagined it. Whew. It's 2:36, okay? I don't know what I've got to tell you, except I've got cleaning to do. And this cake needs to set before we touch it. So let me take my stretched self and go. But the only thing I'll ask you is if you like what you see here. I know anybody who is watching this video in replay is like, what is she doing? Where is she? Look, I'm lost in the detail. Here I am. Hello, can you see me? Can you see me? Thank you, good vibes. Oh, Gladys, breathe. You've got this. Breathe. People, look. I've got you. But this is a lot. I'm so grateful to have you here, though. I'm so grateful for you, your support, your encouragement, and everything. Let's just I mean, this is a live for you. This is the live reaction of a cake maker making a 3-tiered cake, gravity defying cake. Okay, this is my life. Like, literally stress the hell out. I am stressed. Okay, so yay. So it's not just cakes I'm teaching you. I'm also teaching you how stressful the process is. Okay? It is stressful. Let me go tidy up. Grab myself a cup of tea before school finishes and the young man comes home, because this cake needs to be done and finished. So I'll see you on the next one, okay? Check the community post for the live behind the scenes. I posted some shots from my 4 a.m. activity, and I've just updated that, okay? Holly, thank you. And yeah. Like the video, please, just as a means of help for me, okay, and some support for the channel. Hopefully I can polish it off, and if I have to put the balls, I may come back. I don't know. Or we might do a final reveal when I set it all together. I don't know. It's just a lot of work. Either way, you will see the finished part of this cake before it gets to its destination. Thank you for your support. Love you all, and happy baking. I'll see you on the next one.